Our first guest is somebody who predicted 85% of the outcome of the Belgian elections just by studying the body language of the politicians. Now that's scary. It's really scary when somebody can read you. Your customers are reading you too. So how interesting would it be if you were aware of what they're reading?
Yep.
Yeah? But also, how interesting would it be if you would be able to read your customers? Okay, I'm gonna shut up. I'm giving the word. Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Wisowski.
Welcome, I'm really excited, and I guess most of you meet doctors or health representatives almost every day. Who of you meets doctors, health representatives? Quite a lot, everybody almost, great. Now, if you meet a doctor, you need to gain their trust really quickly, right? So if you have a doctor coming up with a fake smile and tell me, does it smell like chloroform, you know? You need to react really quickly. So this is why the first impression is very important. Let me see if I get the first impression on this one. And it does work great. So you need to make a difference between a fake and a real smile. And that's what we're going to do right now. So get ready in about 30 seconds to turn over to your neighbor and shake hands. And just for 10 seconds, make a smile. All right, are we ready? Here we go. Okay, very good. You can continue the conversation later on. Very good. So, who got a real smile? Okay, watch your neighbor if they are not sticking up their hand. Okay. So, the first impression, that's the moment that the doctor or the health representative or anyone just decides you're intelligent, yes or no. I like to do business with you, yes or no. We can become friends, yes or no. First 4 seconds. And that first impression is kept 70% of all future communication. And one of the elements is the smile. So how do you see a difference between a real and a fake smile? Let's have a look. Who does think that this is a real smile? Hands up. Okay, all right. Is this a real smile? Hands up. Okay, all right. So how do you see the difference? The real smile you see when there is a contraction of the orbicularis oculi muscle. I guess most of you know it. It's the muscle around the eye, right? So you're in healthcare, you should know that. So, and psychologist Duchenne discovered that, and that area around the eye that contracts makes that the eye cover full drops to the inside of the eye. And when you see those wrinkles, it's a real smile. So let's have a look again. Is this really a real smile? Well, according to me, it isn't. You see a big, nice teeth, but the eye cover here doesn't contract clearly. So this is a really big, well, but fake smile. Yeah. Is this a real smile? Hands up if this is a real smile. Yeah, very good. Wow, this is the first time I got this. You can't see it. That somebody shouts this. Great. Well, indeed, we had it about the eyes. You can't see it. You don't know. This could be fake. This could be real. Who thinks this is real? Very good. This is real. Is this a real smile? It's totally something different. We'll come back to that later on. It is a micro expression of something we'll cover later. Who thinks this is a real smile? This is a real smile. You see the eyes that are becoming smaller, right? So it's not a very clear picture, but this is a real smile. Who thinks the man here on this toothpaste commercial smiles truthfully? Hands up. Real smile for the man? And real smile for the woman? No. So the man has a real smile. You see the wrinkles very clearly. His eyes become more narrow. With the woman, she is just making a commercial. Who thinks a real smile? This is a real big fake smile. Yeah, it's just the age, right? Who thinks a real smile? You don't see anything around the eyes that contracts, so it's a fake smile. Real smile? No, it's a fake smile. Very good. So next time, next week, you just have to exercise a little bit. Watch at the health professionals, their face, whether their eyes contract, yes or no. And that's the difference between a real and a fake smile. But how accurate is body language? Peggy already told it. We put it to a test, and 2 weeks before the elections in Belgium took place last year, we published on the front pages of the newspapers the results already. And when Belgium voted, well, then it appeared our prediction to be 85% correct based on the body language of the politicians. Body language predicts your success, right? You don't need a parachute to skydive. Know that? You need a parachute to skydive twice. So, yeah. So you never have a second chance for a first impression. Okay? So you have to make this really right. And did you know that we tell lies, or you hear 400 to 200 lies every day? Depending on which research you believe. But the most popular lies, you know them? They're like, this will be my last beer. Or, honey, I have a headache. Or, in this skirt? No, you don't look too fat. No. These are typical lies, okay? So, if you know the series Lie to Me about the life of Paul Ekman, one of the most known people in the field of body language, it's about his life, well, you can all do these things that you see there too. And it's quite easy. After this training, you'll be able to do that. So, I just want to mention just a safety measure. All the body language cues we'll discuss today are 80% a match. So, it depends on the context, it depends on the combination, it depends on the calibration of the type of person, and so on. But if you make combinations, then it's a big chance that it's right. So let's start with giving hands. Sir, can you come up to the stage, please? What's your name? Yeah, nice big smile. What's your name?
My name is Bart.
Bart, great. Very firm, good handshake. It's not like that one. Good. So, Bart, we're going to shake hands. And there are different ways you can shake hands. And for presidents, this is really important. Who's on the picture in with which handshake? So, the first way to shake hands is myself to be submissive. This way, with my palm up, I'm submissive, and Bart is the boss, clearly. Okay, very good. Well, the other way around, if my hand is on top, I'm the boss. Very good illustration. So, what can you do if somebody has a firm handshake? Let's imagine that, Bart, you're a doctor, and you're all doctors that are in the same room. It's a big meeting, and I'm from Covidien. I'm a representative, medical representative, and I have to be in charge, right? I have to show that not too much a big ego, but that I'm in charge, I'm in control of this meeting. But Bart, he has a very big ego and has a very firm, big, dominant handshake. So you'll come up to me with the dominant handshake, and what can I do? Yeah. So this is not a dominant handshake. All right. Once again, it has to be very dominant and very superior, right? You have a big ego. I know it's difficult, but okay, try again. Okay, very good. So I'm in trouble here, right? So what can I do? Yeah, very good. I can do a step forward like this. That helps. Not too hard. I can do a elbow here, or like Obama does, like a tap here. There is also another way. You just do again. Yeah. So very dominant handshake. Welcome, Bart. Thank you very much. Thank you. So thank you for Bart. So these are different ways you can do to counter a handshake that is too dominant for you. What's the ideal handshake? Well, an equal handshake, right? And if you want to be in control of the meeting, make your handshake 10% stronger than the handshake you get. So what does it mean? What's the ideal handshake? It's flexible. It depends. It depends on the person you meet. If you get a weak handshake, well, do a weaker one too, because otherwise you'll be too intrusive for that person. If you get a strong handshake, well, if you want to be in control of the meeting, then you have to do a strong handshake too. I know for women it's sometimes difficult, but do your best to squeeze 10% stronger than the other person. Let's have a look at movements of the hands. Can I ask you to the stage? Welcome, what's your name? Yuzina? Okay, great. So, ladies and gentlemen, can I present you to Yuzina? This is nice open, right? So, let me try to do something different. So, ladies and gentlemen, can I present you to Yuzina? This is different, okay? This is dominant. Let's try again. Ladies and gentlemen, can I present you to Yuzina? This is almost the same like this. I'm sorry you have this role, right? You're okay. So this is almost the same like this. Okay, let's try another one. Ladies and gentlemen, can I present you to Yuzina? Thank you very much. So you see, a small change in just small hand movements make a big impact on what you tell. But you think that well, this, if you are in front of a class or if you're in front of a presentation, you want to keep the room really quiet, this is the movement you have to make. If you ask everybody quiet, please, it doesn't work. This is aggressive, right? And this is lack of respect. But did you catch yourself like, well, my manager, will do it. You're telling something with your body that you don't want to tell, maybe, in that moment. Rubbing hands, that's also a funny one. You have different ways of rubbing hands. This is, if you rub it quickly, it's a positive outcome for everybody. If you do it slowly, it's a positive outcome for yourself. And, well, the interesting part about all this is the combinations of those elements. And we'll just discuss that in a moment. But first, this one, this steepled hands. This one is for a confident person. You show confidence very clearly that I know everything. So this is a very strong movement. You have it in different positions. The high movement, I'm speaking and I know everything. Low movement, where I know everything, but I'm listening anyway, and I'm trying to listen. Another position is this one, hands behind the back. And this means that you're confident, you're self-confident. You see policemen sometimes standing like that. Very similar position with the hand on the wrist is something totally different. It's keeping yourself in control, that your hand wouldn't go to the front. And the higher your hand goes to the elbow, the more in control you keep yourself. So this is a small difference, but if you step up to a doctor and they're standing like that, or they're standing like that, it's a total different approach you should take. Let's have a look what you can see in the face. Touching the nose, what does that mean? What do you think? Lie. How do you know that? How does everybody know? You had this training already, right? Well, indeed, Pinocchio has a long nose. Have you asked yourself why? Well, because when you're inventing lies, then there is more blood coming to your face, and especially here it tickles. Okay, so you have the tendency to touch it here. And if you think, right, okay, it's 80% in the cases like that. But if you think, okay, this doesn't apply for me or for other people because it's sometimes just itchy, right? Well, it's not true. Let's have a look at this movie where Jim is talking about New York. And my question to you is, does Jim Carrey really like New York?
That's right. Oh, I love this place. Yeah. Great place at Christmas. Nice to have you here. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Unbelievable place.
So you see this kind of gestures just accidentally every day. Just general touching the face is not good. So that's why in the beginning of his career, Clinton was moving a lot with his hands and wasn't really trustful. And that's why the Clinton box has been developed. It's staying here in this area in front of your body. And here you can do a lot of things. But going outside and especially touching the face, it's not good. Just like rubbing the eye. What can that mean? Tired, yes. What else? Laughing? Oh, bluffing. Could be, yes. In general, rubbing the eye, it's literally, I don't want to see it. I close myself off. It could be also a sign of lying. Right? Another one, this is very easy. with the finger in the ear, literally you're blocking off the words. You don't want to hear it. And you know, it just itches in here if you don't want to hear it. Yeah? Sometimes funny. Another one, pulling the ear. It's totally something different. It's asking to speak. If you're speaking a lot, and if somebody is pulling their ear, well, you might think about just being quiet for a moment, if that's your goal in that conversation, of course. There's also a very classical one you see a lot. It's scratching the neck, and I'm not sure if I agree. Could be also lying. This is a person who has a negative attitude, who is frustrated. These are all elements that are combined with that gesture. Pulling the collar, getting it really hot. Pulling the collar, it's angry or frustrated. And if people are putting things or fingers or pens in their mouth, they have a need for comfort. It's up to you where you will give it to them, but they're under pressure, so you can help them out. So if we combine all that, what do crossed arms mean? Who thinks that crossed arms means that the person is closed? Okay, well, they're not open either. It really depends. The answer is it depends. There is a research, by the way, where there was a big room divided in two halves, and half one of the students, when they were listening to the professor, were asked to have an open posture. And the other half were asked to have a closed posture. And after that, there were some multiple choice questions, a test, what they remembered. And the part of the class that had open posture, they remembered 40% more than the other ones, just by having open posture. So if you're talking to a doctor and they have a closed posture, then you have to find a way to open their crossed arms. How do you do that? Well, sir, open your arms because you'll forget. Yeah? You too, yeah. It's better, you know. It's 40% you're losing of the strain. So what can you do to open a posture like that? You can give something to that person, some paper, a pen, or you can ask questions. It's quite difficult for a person to keep with their arms crossed when they're talking, so that helps. And actually what you're looking for is for a combination of those movements. Just crossed arms on itself doesn't mean that a person is really closed. It could be in some cases, but in others not. It really depends. And combine it with other movements. So if you have anybody in here who is a real estate agent or has some family with real estate agents? No? Okay, good. Because I can make some jokes about it. So, actually a lot of real estate agents, they're really from the mafia, right? So they're trying to sell those houses that are really like very, very high prices and are not very well fixed. So if you want to buy a house and a real estate agent says like, well, sir, this house is very well and very, very, very good for you, and it's all perfectly done. Will you believe it? There is no way. He does 5, 6, 7 signs of misleading you in just 10 seconds. So look for those combinations that tell you approximately the same message, and you will have more than 80% of chance. Another interesting topic is the decision process. Knowing body language helps you to know whether you should make a proposal or not, whether you're being trusted, yes or no, whether it's the moment to get a contract signed, yes or no. And you know those meetings when people are like that? Yeah. So this means that it's boring. If somebody is having their head straight and they're not supporting it, this means that it's really interesting. And you have this rubbing the, how do you call this? The chin, yes, rubbing the chin. And when you're rubbing the chin, you're making a decision, right? And if somebody's rubbing their chin and they're looking upwards or downwards, then probably they're having negative thoughts while making that decision. So interrupt them and say, sir, let's go over the main points again, because, or maybe you have some concerns or questions. Interrupt that decision process, because the outcome will be probably negative if somebody is thinking like that. However, if somebody is rubbing their chin and they're looking sideways, just let them think, because they're having positive thoughts, and probably they will say yes. Another thing is, how do you read that sign of steepled hands? You remember that it's confidence, right? And it depends from context and what happened before. If that person had a lot of crossed arms, was going backwards, didn't have a lot of eye contact, and then does this, it means that your client is not interested. He wants to throw you out, and he's very confident about that. A different situation, if that client has open body posture, is nods with her head, and so on, and then does this to the front, you might think, oh, it's a bad sign. No, it's a very good sign. It's the moment to make the proposal and to sign the contract, because they're sure, they're confident, and it's okay. So make those combinations to know what's happening. And the more you know about body language, the easier it will be to sell something. Another interesting topic is yes or no. Anybody knows from where comes yes? No? So yes comes from yes, I respect you, I'm bowing, and so on. Somebody knows from where it comes no? No. So no comes from, ever try to feed a baby with a spoon when that baby didn't want to eat? It does like that. It comes from there. Well, the babies in Bulgaria, they do it differently, but that's another topic. Well, let's keep it to the culture of Belgium right now. But this is very important. If you go out of this training and you just remember this, yes or no, it's a lot, because our body never lies. Body language is the only language you cannot lie in. And you say more than you think. So if somebody wants to confirm something, they will not yes. But if, for example, sir, we had just a management meeting and you did a proposal. What's your name, by the way? Jan. And you did a proposal to the management team about finances and so on. And I say, well, Jan, I found it a really very good proposal. And next time I will really, I will support you. Do you think it's real? Am I authentic, congruent? No. So your body is telling, the first impression you get, the first 4 seconds, the answer on your question is given with body language. Watch that body language closely and then listen to the words. The body language gives you the real answer. And this also happens with Nixon in the old days. Just before the Watergate scandal came out, watch this piece of movie and you will see that his answer is giving, he contradicts his words. When he actually says with his words yes, he shakes no, and the other way around. Let's have a look.
And I want to say this to the television audience. I made my mistakes, but in all of my years of public life, I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of public life, I have never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I can say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president is a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
Well, we know the history after that already. It's really cute. Okay, now decide which dog you find cuter. Is it A or B? Who finds A cuter? Most cutest. Who finds B cutest? Okay, most people say A. Why do you find A more cuter? People who said A? The eyes, what else? The head, what's about the head? It's bowed, yes, very good. And they're showing their main artery. You're in healthcare, so you know where it is. And so it's showing vulnerability. And animals do that too, and people actually too. If you watch debates of Obama, when he's listening to his opponent, when his opponent is talking, Obama does this. And this shows vulnerability, interest, sympathy. And that makes his opponent less stronger, because his opponent has non-verbally the impression that his words are being understood and taken by Obama. So if you want to show interest, if you want to show empathy, bow your head just a little bit. Or if you see a doctor or a health professional looking at you with his or her head sideways, it means that that person is really interested, has sympathy for you, likes you, is interested in the product, and so on. And you can see a lot in body language. and somebody, in this case, doesn't do it properly.
Pour favoriser l'éducation de base, ce qui est extrêmement important lorsqu'on veut former les hommes de demain.
And not to forget the presidential initiative on literacy in Africa, which is very important in our view, because when you want to develop, you need to also improve basic education.
J'ai réaffirmé au président que le Mali a signé et le Mali a adhéré à toutes les initiatives de lutte contre le terrorisme.
So yes, if he would have bowed his head just a little bit sideways, that would have helped. But however, it's important that you feel it inside. You can't fake body language. What is inside, you see on the outside. So it starts all from the inside. If an emotion is not felt inside, you don't see it on the outside. So if you don't see sadness on somebody's face, like Hillary Clinton, she says in an interview, like, I find it very sad that that orphanage has been bombed, and she doesn't make a sad face, then she doesn't feel sadness. But if she says, like, I feel very sad that this orphanage has been bombed, she lies also, because the sadness on her face comes later than the words. She just realized, I'm saying sadness and so on, so I have to take a sad face. It's being coached. But real emotions come first in body language and then in the words. Words come 1 second later approximately. So you can't train, it's almost impossible to coach just body language. You have to look at the holistic whole and start from the inside. And actually body language, how we teach it at the Center for Body Language, we use it as a stethoscope. You go to the doctor, and the doctor uses the stethoscope to see what's wrong. But the stethoscope won't heal you. You need pills or other health stuff. But the stethoscope helps to find a way what's wrong. And that's what body language does. It helps to find a way. And then it's up to become conscious and aware of that, to go to the inside of the emotional part and start from there. Speaking about emotions, how do you hold a baby? Imagine you hold a baby. Oh, yeah, hold a baby. Yeah. Where do you put the head? Left or right side? Who puts it left? Most people put it left. Well, that means, just thinking back, if you put a baby left, and all of us, when we were young, we've been carried by our parents mostly on the left side, right? So we saw the face, the left side of the face of our parents the most, which means, subconsciously, that we're attracted to the left side of the face of other people the most. Accidentally, like you know too, the left side of our body is connected to the right hemisphere in the brain, which stands for emotions and creativity. So if you want to show more empathy, if you want to speak more to the emotional side of people, well, then just show your left side. And that's the side that people prefer. And if you're really being emotional, you will speak with the left side of your body in most of the cases. Another small quiz. Which of those two ladies finds you the most attractive? Which one of those two, A or B, is the most attracted to you? Make your decision. Who thinks that A is more attracted to you? Who thinks that B is more attracted to you? Okay, let's lead it up. And it's actually in the eyes that you can see the difference. And the eyes are one of my favorite topics because the eyes are the unconscious. You cannot control the movement of the eyes. And there was a research where men were shown 3 pictures. 1,000 men were shown 3 pictures at a university research, and there was a picture of a landscape, a baby, and a very beautiful woman. And they measured the size of their pupils while watching those pictures. And you can already guess, seeing the landscape babies, small pupils, very big pupils, up to 4 times bigger when they saw the nice woman. Same research for 1,000 women, 3 pictures, landscape baby and a very nice man. Well, it's up to you to decide whether that picture is... Anyway, well, the pupil size increased with seeing the babies. So, So what you know from this research, for the men, women are not really attracted by our bodies, right? Anyway, the real conclusion, pupils become up to 4 times bigger. And large pupils, it's a positive sign. Of course, it's important to measure that in identical lighting conditions with those slides here, for example. Of course, my pupils will be a different size. If somebody moves their head, if there is sun ray coming in, of course, their pupil size will change. But under the same lighting conditions, when the pupils make a difference, this is something that means something. And also, different people have different normal pupil size. So make a baseline with that. And then, starting from that baseline, you know that the pupils that are big mean positive emotions. Love, attraction. Ever wondered those romantic dinners, right, with big pupils? So here, on those pictures, you see that in reality, B is more attracted to you. And you see it in the eyes, in the large pupils. And speaking about love, building a rapport is something you see in love couples. They're mirroring, they're copying their movements. They're in the same position, doing the same style of movements, the same rhythm. It's something that flows naturally. If one of the two will drink, the other one will drink too within 10 seconds probably. It's something we do subconsciously. But if you're establishing rapport, if you're mirroring a health professional you want to build trust with, well, this helps to become conscious of that. Am I mirroring that person, yes or no? And this is very underestimated. You heard it maybe in other courses, but it's very, very strong. And no, most of the people, in 99%, they won't see it. They will not see it. It goes natural. We can also do it from the inside out. Just give attention, give love to that person, and give them sympathy, and you will see that your body language will reflect their body language. You do a kind of a dance, and it goes naturally. If you don't do a dance, and you're not interested, then your body is directed somewhere else. Ever been to a party or a reception when, and you will be later on during lunch probably talking with each other? Well, look around what's happening. Where are the bodies, especially the shoulders and the belly, where are those directed in those groups? If they're to each other, well, it's a sign that people are interested in each other. If the body is directed outwards, even if the head is talking, the body is directed outwards, it means that the person is not interested. Another thing you can do to gain more rapport and more connection with somebody is touch them. Touch them in their neutral zone. It's between the elbow and the shoulder here. And there has been a research also in a restaurant where waiters, yes, very good, that's the way you do it. So it doesn't work if you touch yourself, you know. So there was a research with waiters who were asked, half of them, to touch their clients. Sir, did you enjoy the dinner? Can I bring something to you? Do you want to drink more? And the waiters that were touching their clients in the neutral zone, not further than that, watch out, so in the neutral zone, they got 4 times more tips. So it's really a big difference, just by touching. Be careful with it, but it's something you can do. Emotions. My question to you is, have a look at this movie and tell me what you see, what emotion do you see, what's the most main important emotion you see in the face of Matt Damon? All right, what emotion have you seen? Any ideas? A bit shy, insecure.
Not really interested.
Not really interested? Name it with an emotion. Really, one word, one emotion. Bored, proud. What else? Hesitant. Okay. Now, this is about micro-expressions. Micro-expressions are movements of the eye, of the nose, of the mouth that are very, very short, like 1/10 of a second. And from those movements, you can see 7 basic emotions, up to the research of Paul Ekman, that can tell you if somebody is angry, sad, has disgust, is contempt. And these things you can see on somebody's face totally without them knowing it, because it works subconsciously. And there is something very clearly happening on the face of Matt Damon, and what he does is pressing his lips quite often. I think between 6-7 times in that part that we've seen until now. So watch closely his face and see his lips, what they're doing, what he's doing with that. Press them again.
Matt Damon, everybody.
Again and again.
There you go.
And the emotion that pressed lips mean...
Unfortunately, we are totally out of time.
Again.
I hope you had a good time tonight. I want to thank Ben Stiller. I want to thank all the celebrities who made tonight's Salute to Me possible. Again, my apologies, Matt. Can you come back tomorrow night?
Yourself.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.
So clearly, pressing one's lips means anger. Actually, pressing one's lips is controlled anger. Matt is a very good actor, but he was feeling angry from totally the beginning. And you saw that on his face because he was pressing his lips. There are different ways you can see anger on somebody's face. So narrowing of the lips, also the eyes glare, or the eyes become more narrow. So these are signs that you can see in somebody's face from anger. And exactly the same thing happens here also.
What do you want me to talk about?
Yeah.
A fraud?
And now he's starting to
No, it
press his
wasn't a
lips.
fraud, but I'll be glad to talk to you if you'll shut up and let me talk. And
So here he presses his lips, and again,
a fraud,
again,
let me tell you something.
and again.
I'll tell you a couple of stories about fraud.
So this is clearly anger. And you can see up to 7 micro expressions, 7 basic emotions, like sadness, contempt, surprise, fear in somebody's face with those movements in every culture. Every culture in the world, whether that's in Australia or Netherlands or Belgium where we are today, it's all the same on everybody's face. And here we can see also a lot.
An overwhelming vote.
There are some different ones, not only anger.
And that negative. Wow. Same thing. And it hasn't worked. And now, I think some of the ads that have been going up.
You've got to read what he said. You've got to read what he said.
Let me statement saying that we don't think complete.
Go ahead.
Myra's similar statement saying that he'd probably.
So you say a lot more than you think. And if you combine all that knowledge of body language, and you combine it with a conversation, with a sales conversation, then it becomes very, very powerful. Let me give you an example. A classic sales conversation you will ask questions probably like, what budget do you have left this year? Who decides? Do you decide, or do you need the acknowledgement of somebody else? Are you really interested? And if you ask those questions and if you listen to the words only, you will have a chance of 50% for the truth. And it will take you quite a while to get a truthful answer or even an answer on those questions, because the person has to talk. Now, what we've developed at the Center for Body Language is the BLINK conversation technique, and BLINK stands for Body Language Interpretation Nominology Know-how. And what you're going to do with that conversation technique is something totally different. You're not going to ask questions, but you're going to tell assumptions. Whether they're right or wrong, that doesn't matter. They're just assumptions. And then you'll watch the body language of that person, how that person reacts to them. And the body language tells always the truth. It's the only language you can't lie in. So imagine your sales conversation, not the whole sales conversation, because it would be quite strange, but in the middle of that sales conversation, instead of asking those questions about the budget, you would ask, or you would say rather, I assume that this year's budget is already taken by other projects and so on. If you see that person confirm like, yeah, something like this, I'm just exaggerating. It means that that person is exaggerating, and it's not true. The budget is not taken. If that person shows you the micro-expression of sadness, their inner eyebrows go up, for example, you know that the person really feels sadness inside, that their budget is taken, and they're really interested. So depending on what you see, as a reaction to those assumptions, you can react accordingly. Second one, is that person deciding on that project, yes or no? Well, if you ask the question, it's a hard question to ask also. But what you can do, you can just give the hypothesis, the assumption, and tell that person in between of the sales conversation, like, well, your position probably allows you to decide only by yourself if this investment can take place, and so on. And probably you see the person nodding their head or shaking their head no as the first impression while you're talking. Later on they will become rational and an argument and so on, but the first impression of body language you get on that reaction while you're talking. So you're watching body language while you're talking. The other one, is that person really interested? Well, you can say your colleagues would agree that this proposal has a lot of benefits for your hospital and so on. It's really worth investing time and resources in because and so on and so on. And you will see, if you combine even the signs, we saw about 30-40 signs today of body language. If you combine those and you watch for them, you can deduct the information you really want without any problem, actually. Because it's very easy, you can see it in the body language. And it's just a matter of exercise. If you want to become better, you get course material in Dutch or French, according to your preference language after this course. So if you haven't taken notes, that's no problem. But how you train yourself, just watch TV every day, 10 minutes, without sound. Just put it on mute, and you will get very, very quickly very good in body language. And by using this technique, you can get up to 80% chance for the truth. And your conversation, your sales conversation, will be a lot quicker. I'm just watching the clock. How many minutes do we have left? Just 1? 2 minutes? I need 5 minutes to do the Western game. Can we do it or not?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, good. Great. I need 5 men. Can I invite you? And who else? Sir, can you come up the stage, please? And who else? Let's see, sir with the blue, who's just trying to escape. Just come up on stage. And sir in the back there, can you come up too? And sir who's reading, very interested, come up also. Okay, we're going to play the Western game. And everybody knows the Western style movie. And in a Western, you have 5 characters. You have a sheriff, you have a banker, you have a good guy, a bad guy, and the bartender. Now, look at those men here. Look at those men as if you wouldn't know them, as if it's the first time in your life that you see them. And I will take some accessoires, and one by one, I will ask you, who is that person? And you just shout yes or no. So let's start with the sheriff. Who do you think is the sheriff? Is this the sheriff, yes or no?
No.
Is this the sheriff?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. You can step aside. Yes? Okay, let's have a look. Who's the banker? Right? Who can count the money? Right? Are you ready? Here we go. Is this the banker? No. Is this the banker? Yes. Here we are. Thank you. Now, who's the good guy in that Western? Okay, try not to hurt your colleagues. You'll have to cooperate with them. Okay, so make your decision wisely. By the way, it's just a game, right? Okay, so is this the good guy? Yes. All right, who's the bad guy? Is this the bad guy? Is this the bad guy? And we have the bartender left. Thank you very much. You can put it right here. So this is about stereotypes. It's funny how you have the first impression from somebody and you just label them like this is a person like that. And research shows that people with glasses, they're perceived as if they can count better, they're better at mathematics and so on. So no wonder the person who has the glasses on has been chosen as the banker. If you have a long beard, right, you're probably not trusted just because you have that beard. So the way you dress, the way you move, the way subconsciously you move with your eyes, the way subconsciously you move with your face, with the micro expression, tells a lot. It's 7% are just the words. All the rest is body language. So just a quick run over. Just tell me the top 3 lessons you've learned. What did you enjoy? And what will you apply? Just quickly. The smile. And this, what do you... The body language in general. Great. What did you find interesting? Great, look at the clients. Yeah, what they need. It's great to discover what they really need. The neutral zone you will be touching. Okay, great. All right. So in the reception in just a moment, he'll have a lot of success, okay? If you want some love, you know where to go. So just quickly, top 3 tips for a first impression. Open hands, eye contact, and smile. A truthful smile, and you'll get a very good first impression for which you never get a second chance. Thank you very much. And I wish you good health.